So it turns out that after I made my first unboxing video of ISS Vanguard, I had mentioned that I felt like I was the last person to get the game. I've had a lot of people comment saying they are still waiting for the game. So makes me feel better that I'm not the last person, but it makes me feel bad that people are still waiting. So sorry about that, guys. I hope your games come quick and you're able to dive into this. The other thing is, this is part one of the shipbook phase. And the reason why it's part one is because I'd mentioned in my last video that the tutorial only took us about a couple hours, where it mentioned in the rule book that it was 3 to 4 hours. And I think I see why now. Basically, they want you to go through this book right into the next mission. And so I think that's why they said 3 to 4 hours, because they want you to finish that first planet exploration, go through the shipbook right into the second one. And so I could see how, yes, that would probably take you 3 to 4 hours. So I'm just going to go over part one here of the shipbook phase for just getting ready to get to that second planetary exploration. We won't get into that yet. That will be another video separate from this one, because I haven't quite gone through all those rules yet. First of all, I want to say that I was reading through some of this and I was looking at these pages. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, but rest assured that a lot of this stuff doesn't apply to you right away. And so you can breeze through this stuff pretty quick. But before I get into this, let's talk about being a hero today really quick. I want to take a quick survey and ask who out there would like to receive this if they were starving in the desert or aboard the ISS Vanguard and wanted their daily ration, or if they would rather have this. Now, kind of a weird question. Why would you want the wrapper to the candy or the actual candy? A lot of times we find ourselves looking at images of things and trying to get satisfaction from an image. Okay, I'm looking at this image of a Reese's and it looks good, but it's just not doing the same thing as eating the actual candy. Make sure, guys, when we're out there living our lives, when we're not playing games, we're doing stuff that's real, not stuff that's fake. Okay, these games are make-believe, they're fake, they're a ton of fun, and I love playing these games, but they're fake at the end of the day, okay? So have a good time playing this game, and when you're not playing the game, go out and do something real and do yourself a favor. Maybe not eating a ton of Reese's, but I just thought this was a good object lesson here. We just spend so much of our time doing things that we think are going to grant us satisfaction by looking at it, but it doesn't until we get out and do the real thing. So think about something in real life, guys, you can do to upgrade yourself, whether that's socially, or you can do something to increase your intellect or your knowledge through study, or just anything you can do to upgrade your own life personally. Go do that. So with that said, let's jump into this really quick here. One more thing before I do this. A couple things that I messed up on the previous play I wanted to go through really quick. First of all, when we got an injury dice, we just thought, why in the world you got to put it up here? Just stick it down here. It doesn't even matter where you put it. Well, it turns out it does matter where you put the injury dice. Because when they say to put an injury dice in, they say to bump your dice down and put it at the top. Well, here's why. Because if your dice are bumped down to a slot that you are not ranked for, you immediately spend this dice to the spent pool over here. So it really does matter where you put the injury dice. So again, if I put it over here, that's not really a big deal because it just moves it down to here and the injury dice goes there. Okay, same thing with the greens. I'm just going to move those down to here. It's not really a huge deal. But if I'm going to put them in the red side, that becomes a bigger deal because these move down here. The injury dice goes up here. And because I'm not ranked 2 when I first start, this dice immediately becomes spent and goes over there. So it really does matter where you put these dice. You can't have more than one injury dice in each column. And so as you gain more and more injuries, it's going to move all your dice down. So again, your first injury, you probably stick it here because it just moves it to here. You're safe. Next injury, you put over here. But if you get a third injury, you're going to automatically spend this dice because you can't put it here unless you are rank 2. And the same thing goes for the rank 3 slots down here, down below. So keep that in mind. It matters where you put this dice, and it matters as you get more injuries because eventually you're going to get to a point where you got to push a dice down and spend a dice. Something else that the tutorial asks you to put these time tokens out right away. And I'm like, what in the world do you do with these things? I haven't even used them once. Well, it turns out if you ever have a time track, you're supposed to use these. I was just using the purple cube. But you use these on a time track. And also if you encounter a threat which are, I guess, like the alien life or robots or something that could threaten your mission. You use these to track the actions of the threat. They kind of move along the card there. So that's what these things are used for, if you're wondering about that. Also, I had mentioned when I was doing my unboxing that I just took this and didn't know what to do with it, and so I just stuck all the tokens in it that match this. That's not actually what you do with this bag. I do have some Ziplocs I bought from Amazon that I put most of the tokens in, but what this is used for is if you have any extras of this kind of stuff left over, if they allow you to keep this stuff like a success token, you store it in here and keep it until you use it again. You can pull them all out of here again. So that's what this bag is for, is to store these things that you're allowed to keep inside of. So I emptied everything out of here and put it in one of the other Ziplocs, and now I have this for anything that is left over. So with that said, just want to jump into part one of the shipbook phase here. Again, don't be freaked out by all this stuff. The bridge upgrades don't really apply right now because you don't have any of those. And then they ask you to generate your command points here, your command pool, and your energy pool. And that's generated based off of your objective here. It tells you right there, your objective, the one they instruct you to put in the book to start with, you get 2 of the command points, which we put over there. Okay, and then based off of your tech level, which we're tech level 1, we get 3 energy tokens, which we put over there. And we happen to have 1 success token left over from our first mission. After you do that, we don't have any situations yet, so you're gonna gain a new situation, which we got a new situation card here. We won't show you what that is. We'll let you be surprised on what your situation is. And I think these are mostly bad, it seems like. So anyway, there's a situation card that you draw out that will eventually go into your awaiting envelope. And then you prepare your planetary scanner. So there's not a card in it already. So they're basically just saying if there is a card, take it out and get the scanner back out. And then you're gonna go to the star map. Now, which is the next page here. On the star map, there is a log in the log book that kind of skips a lot of this stuff that gets you right to your next mission. And that makes it a little bit simpler instead of reading through some of this stuff. But this stuff, again, is pretty straightforward. And what it's going to have you do is open up your systems map here. And you're going to use this fancy little bookmark here. So here's where you start out, the Eye of the Void. And these are the 2 places you could potentially travel to. Now, to travel, you need to use energy. This TOI2, you need 1. And the Beta Tarsoni, you need 6. And as you can see, we only have 3. So we're definitely not going to go to Beta. We're going to do this one here. Also, this one requires a bridge upgrade, which we also don't have. So it instructs you to go to this one, which is going to cost you 1 energy to travel to this system. So you're going to take 1 energy out of your pool and put that back in the bank to travel that system. And you're going to end up over here. It also tells you to read this log here. Anytime you travel and there's a log, you read that right away. And again, that kind of walks you through some of the stuff to do with this new system. We've stuck our current system bookmark here so we can see that Vanguard is hovering around the TOI2 system right now. And then it's going to instruct you to go to Pellucid to start out here. And goes through the landing procedure here, which basically you're going to use this little doodad here. That's what this is for, is you're going to stick your landing card here if it tells you if there's a little ship next to where you're going to land. And then you can use energy basically to flip it over and give you some clues as this card gets pulled out as to what's coming for you. Okay, and so it tells you that the first upgrade here costs 0, so you can just move that right up here. Okay, and then it will show you on the back some clue to the next mission where you're going to land, something that will help you. Then it's going to cost you 1 energy, so you can toss another one aside here, and that's going to get you the next one. And then if you want to get this one as well, you spend another energy, and now you pull the card basically just all the way about out to there, and then you're going to flip it over here, and it's going to give you all kinds of information that's going to help you in your landing procedure. So pretty cool here. And again, I think they start you off just giving you all of this so you can read all the stuff on the back and find out what happens to make it a little more straightforward. I think it's going to get a little more treacherous as you get further on into the game. So that's kind of how that thing works. Gets you to your next area, and then it tells you to go to the ship facilities page, which I think is the next page here. Yep. Now we're on ship facilities. These are the different things you can do around the ship of Vanguard that are going to help you in future away missions. And the tutorial advises you to use the barracks and the production complex to start out, just because those are going to get you some more crew members. And so something else to keep in mind. So our previous crew members go to the resting slot in the box. And before we got to the ship management phase, it gave us a few new crew members here. It had us draw 2 for each section. You get to choose one of those and shuffle the rest back into the box. So we got a couple of new crew members here, and you have these crew members in your hand that you can use for various areas around the ship, okay? And so it's best to go to barracks first because that's going to give you some more crew members that you can put to work. So barracks is on page 16. So we'll flip over to here to the barracks. And it's basically just a card here that gives you some instructions. A couple of different things you can do on here. Transfer or dismiss crew members. If you don't like a crew member that you have, you can just be like, or if you need a new sleeve. I'm running out of level 1 or class 1 sleeves here. I need some more. You can just pull the crew member out. He gets shuffled back in, and now you have an available sleeve. You can do that whenever you want to. You can trade crew members between sections. I think this guy would work better in recon. This guy would work better in security. So you can trade them. You can just swap them. Now, if they are the rank 1, they can just swap straight across. If they're rank 3 or 2, you've got to decrease their rank by 1 if you want to trade them. So I don't know. Might be beneficial, might not. You can train new recruits. Now, keep in mind, anytime you see this red lettering here with this, you can't quite see it here, but it's a little bit bigger up here. This little personnel symbol here allows you to use one of the recruits in your hand to do something extra. Now, keep in mind, if you do that, the crew member has to go to the resting slot, okay? And you have to have at least 1 left over to send on the away mission. So right now we only have 1 of each. So we can't do any of these things yet because otherwise we'd lose a crew member and they wouldn't be able to fill that section. So in the future, if you have a lot of crew members in your hand and you have someone who's rank 3, you can use that person to train another crew member to rank them up. Both crew members will go to your resting slot in the box. So whoever's doing the training, whoever's getting trained, they're both going to go to the resting box. So those two things kind of in the future there, drafting crew members is going to be a little more important. You can take 5 random crew members from the stack and have everybody choose one of them. It tells you to, let's see, in order chosen by the security section player. So the security guy can decide, hey, you choose first, you choose second. And then the 5th one will just get shuffled back in. If your morale's high, you can draw 6. If your morale's low, you can only draw 4. But if it's just regular, you get to draw 5. So with that done, and you have 1 crew member for each of the 4 sections now into a rank 1 sleeve, now you're going to have 2 of each of these guys in your hand. So you're going to have a little more crew members in your hand to help out. Once the barrack phase is complete, you go back to the facilities here, which is on page 6, I believe. Back to ship facilities. Now that you're done with the barracks, you can go to the production complex on page 12. And again, it recommends you do these 2. It says you don't have to, but it recommends to do these 2 just to get yourself going on the next mission. So the production complex. Production complex, again, a whole bunch of things that don't really apply. We don't have any new production projects in our awaiting folder. We don't have any production upgrades in our awaiting folder. And we don't have any production projects currently in process. If you flip this page over here, you'll see some production queues here where different production projects get completed, 20, 60, 90, and then completed once they're out of the folder. You'll notice here, we can only use production queue 1 because we need upgrades to use production queue 2. So we can only use this one for right now. So we're going to skip all of these, start new projects. These are the projects it asks you to stick in to start the game. The cool thing is it tells you right on here what stage they start at. You might not be able to see this here, but this says this stage starts at stage 1. This one starts at stage 3, and these 2 start at stage 2. So basically you can start all of these except for one of the stage 2 because that slot will be full. The stage 3 ones are a little bit simpler to complete. This one's a lander, so it starts at stage 1, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so you can put the lander over here in stage 1, pick one of the 2 stage 2 cards, and it starts here. And then the stage 3 card will start here. And then on your next time through the production facilities, you will be able to advance those cards 1 slot. This one will become completed, and these 2 will move up, and you'll have an open slot to put another stage 1 production project here. So again, a lot of stuff you're kind of getting teed up for future missions. Now again, you can boost production by taking a crew member and using them for assembly. Now, it does say that if you're using that crew member for assembly, they have to match one of the icons on the card. This card has construction on it. This card says any icon, and then these two list a couple of different ones. So they have to be, in other words, they have to have the convert ability for that type of icon in order to help them. So this guy wouldn't help me much. Defense, technology. So this lady, I could stick her in there because she's got the technology one, and that's what it lists on here, that technology can be used. So she can go in here to help to upgrade this one faster. Now keep in mind, if I do that, she goes back in the resting folder. So I have to have those barrack guys in my hand first before I take her out of there. Otherwise, she's not available for the away team. Once you have completed your production projects and there's nothing else that you want to do here, you're going to, oh, and I almost forgot to mention, so your command pool, what these are for over here is for each one of these, you get to do one of the sections in the ship facilities. So they give you two, and that's why they recommend doing these two to start out with. So once you've done both of those, these both get discarded once you've done both of these activities. And then once it takes you back to here, you finish the facilities, and you're going to do the cleanup. It does say any energy or command tokens that are remaining get discarded. So I'm not sure why that shows that on this bag. There must be a way to get those another way and then bring them into this phase in the future game, it seems like. But it does tell you to discard any of these that are not being used from this pool and this pool. And then any success tokens that you have remaining, which we didn't use, will go back into this bag to be saved for later. And then it tells you to go right to page 18 to the hangar, and away we go. And that was one thing I was not ready for. I kind of thought you just fixed up your ship and then you got to hang out for a while. And it tells you at the beginning of this that the save point is after the next planetary exploration. And if you don't have time to do that, you can save before you do the ship facility. So keep in mind, the ship facility is going to, the ship management phase is going to lead you into the next planetary exploration. As you go to the hangar on page 18, and once in the hangar, you're going to pick your ship. You don't have any upgrades or anything like that. And you're going to go to the launch procedure, and there's a whole lot of stuff in here, and begin planetary exploration. Off you go. And then I think after that next one is when they're going to say, okay, now you can go to the beginning and save the game. So if you play the first planetary exploration, keep in mind that this ship phase is going to lead you right into the next one. And I think once that next one's complete, you can take a break after that. So if you're not quite ready for the next planetary exploration, just take a break before you do this. And that'll give you time to regroup or have your group come back over for another play session. So I hope that's helpful. Again, I always feel like every time I miss a couple rules. If you feel like I've explained something incorrectly or vaguely, please let me know. If I missed a rule, let me know, because I'm learning this game too, and so I definitely don't have everything down perfectly. But most importantly of all, guys, the way you can be a hero is by doing something real. Don't live your life artificially. Live your life now. Do something real. Be a hero. Take care.